the numbers show that, when you look at the wanted list, the cohort of youths that are committing crime, they are between the ages of about 18 to maximum 25 sometimes, right? And who better to have a say on crime and violence other than the youths who understand why you do what them do, who understand, how you think and what you need to redirect their path from violence and crime. And this is also a big move, in the sense that as a former member of the JCF, I will definitely understand the ins and outs of some of them hotspots communities here, understand what is needed to provide proper, policing to these communities, and to also, look on how we can implement the social intervention programs that we need to keep the thing going. Because, crime fighting without social programs is really a backward move.
How long did you serve in the JCF?
4 years.
All right, Javon, I'm gonna get straight into it because my view on this whole crime situation is that crime needs a three-pronged approach. You need something for the immediate, because where we are now, it's just hemorrhaging, so you need to stop the bleeding immediately. And it needs a short term to continue that slowing down of the bleeding or stopping of the bleeding. And then it needs that long-term approach. What is the immediate approach that a PNP administration, that you'd suggest to a PNP administration to make as it relates to these murders that we're having in Jamaica right now?
All right, Colin. So let me make an example. For example, the shooting of the two school youth down in Salt Spring the other day, right? It was all over the news. Everybody's supposed to hear about that. The security forces knew that gang violence are going on in the community. You follow me? So that is one. So them know that gang violence are going on in the community. Doctor. What did they do to mitigate against any reprisal, any acts of flare-up, etc.? This is the issue that the security forces face. There's a huge lack of resources. When we talk about resources, I mean manpower, I mean police units, etc. Because if I know, if I'm a commander for an area, or if I'm the minister or the commissioner, and I know that an area is going to have gang violence and there is active violence in there, more boots on the ground is always required. You understand? You cannot have an area of about 800 police with serving 60,000, 70,000 people. That's unacceptable. And then there's also one of the biggest issues facing them right now is the lack of force drivers. So the time we take for train a man to become a force driver, right, don't make any sense. And then there are also the ones that may have had an accident and then banned from driving. Some of them police division here, if them could get back half of the man them were banned from driving to be on the road to aid in the agility and the mobility of the force. Majority of these areas.
Hold on, because it sounds like you're pointing out a problem that a lot of us did not know exists in the force. You're saying that to be driving in the police force, to drive police vehicle, you have to get special training, right?
You have to train. So even though you have a license, you have to go up on the police.
You can't just drive police vehicle.
No. You can't.
And you're saying that there's a shortage of drivers in the force right now.
Yes.
Of force drivers.
Force drivers. And then when a man meeting an accident, the time that it takes him to go through investigation so he can go back and drive, sometimes it's all 6, 7, 8 months. So it's
hold on, help me here because I've never been a part of the force and a lot of people never know that. But in other jurisdiction, is it the same that you have to have that special training to drive, meaning in other countries, Caribbean or first world country, if you know?
I've never done the research, I've never done the investigation, but I can tell you that for Jamaica, you need to have special training to ride and drive.
Understand that clearly.
You must go through the JCF.
So we're talking about the solutions. We're going back to the solution to this murder problem. You're saying that more boots should have been on the ground down there in Salt Spring.
Yes, because you would have already identified that there's a gang violence going on there.
But the government said them need a state of emergency to do that.
No, you don't. You don't. Let me tell you something. In 2013, we had 0 murders in Augustown, right? 0. None. One of the hottest spots in Jamaica. Listen.
But you had state of emergency in there.
Where? In Augustown? No.
Augustown.
No.
Then no murder never commit in there. If no state of emergency never in there.
All right, listen. Because you see, you need real police to understand how to do operation and to set and to put crime plan together. Watch me. What we did in Augustown was that we have what we call a right round the clock foot patrol. So you have police on the ground from 10 to 6, 6 to 2, and 2 to 10. Complementing them police up on the ground, what we had was the local station patrol providing high visibility patrols in the Hermitage operational support team.
We lost you a while ago, so you have to pick up back from when you gave us the schedule of patrol that you had in Augustown.
Right. So we had a right round the clock foot patrol, right? Right round the clock. We also had the local patrol team from the police station in Augustown on the ground providing high visibility patrol, because what they don't understand sometimes is that high visibility patrol deter a lot of crime. Because if a man see blue flashing light come down there and the police and say, I'm not going to commit no crime. You understand? What we also had is the OST team, that's the operational support team. The one where the blue denim.
Yeah.
Right. So we had both two units patrolling the area. And in the daytime, we engage the CSSB, which is the Community Safety and Security branch of the JCF, which is really the social part of the JCF, to go into the community and find out why youths are not in school, connect with the school, try to bring them in school so that we can redirect their path from going into crime and violence.
But isn't that what the ZOSO does? That they have now?
Yes, the ZOSO does something similar to that. But I don't think the ZOSO is engaged in the social part of it. And that's a problem.
So you are saying that's the form of policing that the PNP would put in, that you suggest the PNP put in place when they become government?
So what you have to do is you have to assess each hotspot, because the crime are different in some hotspots. Some hotspots, the crime is extortion, who want to control which area because them can make extortion money off Mr. Chin or John Brown. Once you can assess each area and then you put together your scheme of maneuver, you work out your operation order. I don't see why we need a state of emergency to do snap raids, to do target raids, right? I don't see why we need a state of emergency to do high visibility patrol, to add more police to an area.
Is the state of emergency, would the PNP, or would you suggest, because we're not saying that you're going to be minister or you won't be minister, but as somebody in this position, you would have to make suggestions to the party from wherever you sit.
Right.
Would you suggest the use of state of emergency under PNP administration?
No, only for extreme situations.
Give me an example of an extreme situation.
An extreme situation would be like a Tivoli in 2010.
Would the bombing of the 13 or 15 houses over there in Gregory Park, would that warrant state of emergency?
Yes.
So, but we never see one call when that happened in Gregory Park.
Because the use of state of emergency in this country is a political tactic to one. Because what I saw in Montego Bay, 3 youth died, right? But no, and condolences to their families. But there are other areas where have a high gang violence and when no state of emergency. And
the most murders so far this year has been committed in St. James.
In St. James, correct.
Yeah.
So if you are assessing that, and you know say a lot of murders are committed at St. James, and I hear him blaming the opposition for saying that we are causing the rise in murders in St. James. Right? And I will get to that shortly. But if you do the maths and you look at the trends and you look at the statistics, and you're saying that St. James, I think the last time I looked at the number was 126. If you think that you wanted to control that number, why not call a state of emergency prior to what had happened, based on the numbers that you are seeing? Why?
Yeah, but the government is giving them the support, so if them call it for 14 days, that's all it can be. Not the government, sorry, opposition.
If you think Colin, if you think that this is a method that works, right? And you're seeing the gains from it, why not call it every 14 days? You don't need us to call it every 14 days. If I believe
But that would be good governance.
If I believe that something works and you're serious, if you say you're serious about solving crime, like what you promised in 2015, oh, if you vote for me, you'll be able to sleep with your windows and doors open. If you believe that this is the solution to solving the crime, why is it that you don't call it every 14 days so that we can save lives? Why is it that you're blaming the opposition when you don't need the opposition to call it every 14 days?
I want to go back to solution though, Javani Byfield. PNP junior spokesman and national security. Crime murders every year since 2016. It's been going over 1,200 Jamaicans per year. Needs that national approach. Give us a little more on the national approach of what a PNP government would look like. Because if PNP not going to carry down the crime, brother. Because we're looking for somebody now to bring down this murder rate in Jamaica. What it would look like under PNP, bringing down this murder rate.
All right. The solution is this. Because the other day I heard the PM mention about creating a ministry for crime and violence, right? And I wonder what is the minister or the Ministry of National Security for. And I just think he's a little bit confused. But let me say, the PNP, I believe one of the first things that we need to do is to bring all the necessary agencies together. And through that, we're going to create a task force now, right? Where a plan can be
another acid or another Operation Kingfish or another what? Another squad you're going to come with?
A task force. They call CMOT now, which is an oversight monitoring committee. But when you bring together the CTOC, the MOCA, the CIB, the operational support unit of the JCF, and you bring together the JDF, and you sit every man in a room, and you come up with a strategy and a plan there and then to combat crime, right? When I was in the force, we have operation order. So every now and then we would call the police, they leave their phone in a room, and we create an operation order for a specific community, and we go in there, right? Early morning, right? Unannounced, right?
Mm-hmm. But that thing you can't search. You can't search about the place that time.
That is one.
But how you search people place that time? You just all go in there and do what?
No, you'd have already gotten all the necessary approval that you need prior to that.
So you get search warrant.
You get your search warrant. You get your card from the JDF. You get your card from the MPD at the time, right? You already do the necessary, right? And this was done when Fitz Bailey was in charge, SSP in charge of SAC. I was in SAC.
Oh.
And we had a good crime fighting strategy in SAC.
But wouldn't it be easier if you have an operation like that, you call a state of emergency in a small area? State of emergency give you all the legal parameters that you would need to carry out an operation like that, innit?
No, because a state of emergency, you're going to have to advise the public through the Governor General that you're going to call a state of emergency, which defeats the whole problem or the whole purpose.
But you circle the place before you do the advisory. The police have the authority to circle any area. So you circle it before you give the authority, before you call it.
Then why call a state of emergency if you're going to circle it? Just get the regular approval that you need from the ground commanders, from your AC.
But help me with this, because what I'm thinking about is that search. You can't search my house without a warrant. And if you go to the court, you have to give a reason to get a warrant to search my house. So if you're going to search a area like Gregory Park, you can't get a warrant for every man's house. Only state of emergency can give you that authority.
Whenever you're doing operations, so you're doing snap raids and target raids. For example, if I stop you, right? I'm a police and I stop you. When a police stop you, I'm supposed to tell you I'm stop you for, right? You can't just open my car and say I search my car and tell me what I stop you for. The JCF Act provides a lot of different areas of which you can conduct operation. For example,
you saw the article from Justice Box about searching people vehicle on the road.
Yes, but look at this. You have VCP, which is a vehicular checkpoint, right? Where you stop and check and search vehicles on this person. You have PCP, which is a person checkpoint. So like the police and walk up along half a tree, them can stop you under PCP and search you. You understand? So the JCF Act already provides a lot of areas in which you can do searches legally. You follow?
Mm-hmm. Including
Since,
somebody's home.
since the PNP loss in 2016, I have not seen one vehicular checkpoint. Like, vehicular checkpoints allow the police to block the roads and search vehicles and its person so that we can either stop the movement of gun from one coming to the next, right? Or we can search and apprehend wanted person or find contrabands, etc. That's not going on again. You can easily move from point A to point B with anything at all, without the fear of police, stopping you. And one of the things that the PNP need to do is we need to have the police motivated to work. The commissioner has a 7% to his discretion, 7% promotion, and I doubt he's using that. I understand. Say, yeah, man, exam is good, man. Exam is good, but you have some constable in our force, chief. We have worked 30, 40 years, and they're still a constable. You have some corporal with 25 years. Good police them, and them are still constable and corporal. How do you motivate them to go out there and work again? Sometimes you promote them, allow them to feel like they are part of the system as well, like they're cared about. The members of the force, they are demotivated. Have you ever seen the majority of the police vehicle on the road? Which bumper no gone so, light gone there so. You cannot work in.
But now the officer them all blick them all over the place and bang them all over the place, man.
Yes, but we understand that when you're doing operation, these things will happen because you have to provide chase sometime.
So you're saying it is queer.
Let me say this before I go forward, Colin. It is unacceptable, right? And let's not forget that the massive allocation in a capital expenditure to the Ministry of National Security over the last 5 years. And this far exceed the financial resources available to any previous administration. And they have kept contact with the men and the women of the force. And the lack of needed resources is astonishing. So even with that amount of investment to the force, there's still the need for more vehicles. There's still a need for equipment like drones.
But you mentioned earlier that we don't have enough drivers. So how we going to get more vehicles? We go and drive them.
But I'm saying to you, the vehicles that they have in the force, they can't even run one type of robots.
But the force are seen for run people, so.
You have a man where say he might go buy a police youth car, $200 million. All we can't see the youth car, we can't get about $200 million. And then we wonder why crime and violence is the way it is in this country. We're not serious about it because we don't take the investment serious. For example,
hold on. The present administration made a promise that they would deal with crime in a significant way. It is obvious that it has not been dealt with. Jamaican people want to feel safe in their country. At this point, we don't feel safe. The 2 students were killed last week, or it was Monday. And bomb threat to over 70 locations in the last week. Speak to me about the lack of security, the lack of confidence in our security apparatus in the country at this time.
All right. So, like you mentioned, the PM, when he was in opposition, had all the necessary ideas to solve crime in this country. And what we have seen is a country that has gone down the path, like that's going backwards. Because even with less resource, the PNP was able to bring crime to its lowest. Right? What we need at this time in the country is a solid approach to crime fighting. What we need is to motivate the men and the women in the JCF. What we need is to allow them to function efficiently. We need to have a police officer at the helm of security, right?
Oh, so
Because
one of your problems is with the army man at the helm?
definitely, because
Why?
state of emergencies are then police and you're looking at a military state and that don't work. If you want to reduce crime, you have to find the root cause of crime. What is the root cause of crime? The root cause of crime is because our early childhood institutions are lacking. A lot of youth, you go to them garrison here and you see youth 2, 3, 4, 5 year old on the street. The lack of early childhood institution is needed. Early childhood education is key, because at that point, them youth here, them absorb everything because they're like sponge.
So that's the long-term solution, though.
Yes, we also need to re-engage the young girls in the community, the young youth in the community, socialize properly. A lot of times, like I was in traffic yesterday, I just see a man just go around a man and the man come out with him knife and chop him up. We don't know how to discuss and just speak and can come to an amicable solution. Right? We need to get back the social facet of the society back in place. And if our leaders continue to act the way they act, then we're always going to go down the wrong path. Because when a leader,
we get to the leaders there, because we leaders them for everything.
When the leader of the country is going to come and say, once you feel like you're supposed to go down to the level of a youth and say, yeah, bro, God, that is wrong. Right? That is wrong. Government badness. It allows the youths to feel like, oh, I can acknowledge with this man. This man is acknowledging with us. He's one of us.
Is what that politics is about? People can.
Politics is about policies, Colin. Politics is about politics. It's about policies.
Oh, that don't win. That don't win election. That don't win election. Is the class.
And that is the reason why I am a member of the PNP. Because I believe that the policy is supposed to be firm so we can direct the country at the right path. It was a policy that allowed me, if you have education.
What good is the intention of the policy, but you can't win the government?
Yes, but what good? It's playing politics when you come in there and destroy the country. And the Jamaican people need to look into this. What good is it when you come and you give a man $5,000 to vote and you don't see him till the next 5 years? And him come give $5,000 again. What good is it? What good is it when you come in our community and the whole street bad, but you fix which part the two labor and living at the back of the street, like people have to drive on the front of the street for going at the back of the street? What good is it when we don't allow our youth to get a proper education, when we don't allow our youth, when we don't redirect the part of our youth? What good is the politics? Winning is one, but what direction do we send the country in after we win? And that's why Manley and a PJ and a Portia or a Peter Phillips or an incoming Mark going will always be better, because we're discussing policies. Policies. It was a PNP policy. We allow Highway 2000. It was a PNP policy. We allow NHT. Where a lot of us benefit from today. What policy has this government implement our own crime fighting, implement our own poverty? It cannot be just about PRing and blaming the opposition, because anytime a government resort to blaming the opposition for its failures, It's a clear sign, Colin, that they have outlived their usefulness. And I want to agree with the PM back in 2015 when he said that crime or national security, like health and education, is everybody's business and we all have a responsibility. I agree with him. But when we elect a government...
Was that what he said in 2015?
Yes, November 2015, November 5th, 2015. But when we elect a government, we don't expect them to turn to the country and say them can't do nothing or blame the opposition for the rise in this. If that's the case, why have a government? And that is the PM's word back in 2015. My brother.
Japan Byfield, would you support legislation to allow stop and frisk in Jamaica?
Yes.
Why?
A lot of time, what we find is you're on the road, right?